The universe didn't begin the way you think it did. The Big Bang, the moment we've been taught to envision as a titanic, fiery eruption, was not a bang at all. No explosion, no light, no sound. Just silence. That word, bang. It's a poetic lie we tell ourselves because it's easier than facing the deeper, unsettling truth. You've imagined a fireball, haven't you? Bursting outward from some cosmic center. But the universe didn't explode into space. It was space, being born. There was no outside. There was no before. The very fabric of time itself began at that moment, and with it, space unfurled like a veil in the darkness. And that darkness, it didn't exist until then either. You've lived your entire life wrapped in assumptions about up and down, before and after, cause and effect. But step outside the narrow walls of human perception, and those rules dissolve. Imagine watching everything you've ever known dissolve like mist. Your body, the earth beneath your feet, even time itself, until all that remains is a strange silence and a question that grips your soul. What lies beyond this universe? Not just physically, beyond stars, beyond galaxies, but fundamentally. What lies outside existence? You might believe the universe is infinite, stretching forever in all directions. That's comforting, in a way. But it might be wrong. What if it's finite? What if there is an edge, not a wall you can touch, but a conceptual boundary where the rules of physics fall apart? A horizon beyond which meaning itself collapses. Imagine standing at that limit, staring into something your mind wasn't built to understand. Beyond that edge, there might be nothing, not emptiness, not darkness, but true nothing. No space, no time, no possibility. A void untouched by even the idea of being. But even that isn't the full truth, because some scientists suggest there is no beyond. That question, what lies outside the universe, might be meaningless, like asking what's north of the North Pole. If the universe is all there is, all space, all time, all energy, then how can there be an outside? Yet, the mind resists that. You resist it, because something in you aches to peer beyond, to open a forbidden door, and see what's really out there. And so you wonder, could there be other universes? Could our cosmos be one bubble in a vast multiverse sea, a froth of countless realities expanding, colliding, and dying beyond our perception? If so, what rules govern those realms? Do they have stars, atoms, gravity? Or are they alien to everything we know? Perhaps in one, time flows backward. Perhaps in another, nothing ever changes. Perhaps some are governed by math so foreign it would shatter your brain to glimpse it. Still, the most disturbing possibility remains this: that the universe, our universe, might simply end. Not with a bang, not with a whimper, but with a silent, final pause. A place where the grid lines of space-time just stop. Like reaching the end of a dream you didn't know you were dreaming. What if you traveled for billions of years, faster than light, only to reach a blank canvas where reality thins into something else entirely? This isn't just speculation. There are clues, subtle fingerprints in the background radiation, quantum hints in particle physics, patterns in the fabric of existence itself, that whisper of something bigger, something stranger, something terrifyingly real. And yet, no telescope can see it. No spacecraft can reach it. This isn't just a question of distance. It's a question of nature, A question of whether our minds are even equipped to grasp the answer. Because the deeper you look, the more everything blurs. Particles become probabilities. Time becomes geometry. And the cosmos begins to look less like a machine, and more like a thought, a pattern, a story, maybe even a dream. And so, as you sit there, staring into the digital void of this screen, you are left with a chilling realization. You live inside a mystery so vast, so complex, that every answer you've ever been given might just be a beautifully crafted illusion. The real truth? It's waiting, out there, beyond the stars, beyond the light, beyond the reach of even your boldest thought. Are you ready to go deeper? Or will you turn away from the edge of reality and pretend you never saw it? The universe began with simplicity, or so we thought. A singularity, they told us. A point of infinite density and heat, smaller than a grain of sand, containing everything that would ever exist. From this singularity, space expanded, swiftly, violently, beautifully. That's the story we've all been handed, like a bedtime tale whispered to children beneath a sky full of stars. But what if the story is only half true? What if that beginning, so clean and decisive, masks a far deeper mystery we've only begun to unravel? To understand what lies beyond the universe, we must first understand the universe itself. Not the stars and galaxies you see when you look up, but the fabric beneath them, the scaffolding of reality. You see, the cosmos isn't just filled with stuff. It is the stuff. Space and time aren't the stage where the drama plays out. They are the drama. Matter bends space. Space tells matter how to move. That elegant dance is what we call gravity, and it's that invisible, relentless pull that shaped the universe from its earliest heartbeat. In the first few moments after the Big Bang, what scientists call the Planck era, the universe was a churning sea of pure energy. There were no atoms, no light, no structure. The laws of physics, as we know them, were still writing themselves. Imagine a furnace so intense that not even time dared to step forward steadily. It staggered, hesitated, fluctuated. This was not a cosmos. It was chaos sculpting itself into order. Then, in less than a trillionth of a second, something extraordinary happened. The universe inflated, not grew. Inflated. Picture a speck of dust suddenly ballooning into something the size of a galaxy, not through explosion, but through expansion. Rapid, cold, and silent. This was cosmic inflation, and it stretched the very fabric of space-time, outward faster than light. If you could ride that wave, you'd see space itself ripple and shudder, smooth out, and suddenly bloom with possibility. But this expansion didn't spread matter outward like shrapnel from a blast. It created space itself. Every point in the universe moved away from every other point because the fabric was growing. Not because the matter was traveling through space, but because space was unfolding beneath it. Imagine dots on a balloon as it inflates. From any dot, every other seems to recede. There is no center, no edge, just expansion. And yet, here is where the contradictions begin to whisper. If the universe has no center, then where did it begin? If it has no edge, then what is it expanding into? These aren't trick questions. They are keys to a door we've barely begun to unlock. Because the universe, according to general relativity, can be finite and unbounded, like the surface of a sphere. A two-dimensional creature crawling across that surface might think it's infinite, but walk far enough in one direction and you might end up right where you started, without ever hitting a wall. That's the kind of reality we live in. A space that curves in on itself. A cosmos with no outside, because everything is already inside. But hold on, there's more. The cosmic microwave background, faint, ancient light left over from the Big Bang, paints a strange picture. It's not entirely smooth. There are subtle variations in temperature, minute fluctuations in energy that ripple across the sky like ancient scars. These patterns are fingerprints, and they hint at something beyond the observable. Perhaps our universe is just one bubble in a frothing, seething multiverse. Perhaps those fluctuations are echoes, vibrations from collisions with other bubbles that once brushed against our own. And still, we don't know, because we cannot see beyond the cosmic horizon. That's the farthest point from which light has had time to reach us since the birth of the universe. Roughly 46 billion light-years in every direction. Not because that's the size of the universe, but because that's the limit of our sight. Beyond that lies the unknown. You live in a bubble of perception. Outside it, space may go on forever. Or it may not. It may curve back in, close in on itself. Or maybe, just maybe, it ends. Not with a wall, not with a border, but with a transition, a fading, a dissolving of space and time into something else. Something for which we have no name. And what of time? We treat it like a river, flowing steadily forward. But time, in Einstein's universe, is not a river. It's a dimension, bound up with space into a single entity, space-time. And just as you can walk forward or backward through space, relativity says you can move through time, at least in theory. The faster you go, the slower time ticks for you. Sit near a black hole, and time warps around you like taffy. It bends. It flexes. And if you follow the math, it might even break. At the heart of every black hole lies a singularity, not unlike the one that began the universe, a place where gravity becomes infinite, where the laws of physics crumble, where space and time themselves end. Sound familiar? What if the universe has its own edge, not out there in space, but deep within its own equations? A built-in boundary? A cosmic blind spot? There's one more mystery that demands our attention. Dark energy. The force accelerating the expansion of the universe. We don't know what it is. We don't know where it came from. But it dominates the cosmos. Over 68% of the total energy in the universe, and we can't even see it. It pushes galaxies apart faster and faster. Left unchecked, it will rip the universe apart in a future we call the Big Rip, tearing atoms themselves asunder. That is the ultimate contradiction. That, the same force that birthed the cosmos, might one day destroy it. That the very thing making space grow may also spell its end. So we stand here, on a fragile rock, spinning in a sunbeam, orbiting a minor star in a nameless corner of a galaxy among trillions, and we ask questions no creature was ever meant to ask. What is space? What is time? What lies beyond the place where understanding ends? The truth is, science gives us models, maps, equations, but none of them answer the question completely. Because what we're really asking is not scientific. It's existential. What does it mean for something to be beyond the universe? Is it more space, another dimension, or the boundary between being and not being? These are the stakes. This is the mystery. You've heard the story of the Big Bang. Now, forget it. or at least loosen your grip on it, because to truly see what may lie beyond the universe, you must first realize that even what you know is uncertain, and what seems certain may be the illusion that's holding you back from seeing the truth. Now the stage is set. The lights are dimmed. The curtain rises on the greatest cosmic secret ever imagined. Are you ready to step beyond? Imagine reality not as a flowing river, but as a film reel. Each frame, each moment, already there, waiting. In this model, time doesn't move. You do. Your consciousness is the flickering light that projects one frame after another, giving you the illusion of motion, of change, of life progressing from one moment to the next. But if every moment already exists, what does that say about free will, about beginnings, about endings? This is more than metaphor. It's one of the most radical implications of Einstein's theory of relativity. According to the block universe model, past, present, and future all exist equally. Time is not something that passes. It's something you travel through. But this model clashes violently with our experience of being. You feel change. You age. You remember the past, not the future. So, is that just an illusion? Or are we missing something fundamental? Now, imagine zooming into the tiniest scale possible, down past atoms, past quarks, to the quantum foam, the foundation of everything. Here, reality behaves like a magician with no audience. Particles blink into existence and vanish without warning. They can exist in two places at once, or nowhere at all until they're observed. This is the world of quantum mechanics, a domain where cause and effect are suggestions, not rules. Take the phenomenon of entanglement. Two particles, once linked, remain connected even across vast distances. Change one, and the other responds instantly, no matter how far apart they are. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. But experiments confirm it's real. And if that's true, then information travels faster than light. Or maybe distance is an illusion. Or maybe space itself isn't what we think it is. Now, pull back. Widen your view. Our universe is expanding, yes, but why? And into what? The answer may lie in inflation theory. Remember that rapid ballooning of space just after the Big Bang? That might not have stopped. In some regions, it could still be going. And in those regions, new universes are being born all the time, each with its own laws of physics, its own dimensions, its own version of reality. Welcome to the multiverse. It's not science fiction. Not anymore. Theoretical frameworks like string theory, eternal inflation, and the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics all point toward some version of a multiverse. In string theory, our universe is a three-dimensional membrane, or brain, floating in a higher dimensional space. There could be other brains, other universes, stacked beside ours like pages in a cosmic book. And sometimes they might collide. What we call the Big Bang could have been one such collision. Or consider the idea that every quantum event, every decision, every particle's path, splits reality into branches. In one universe, you turn left. In another, right. In one, Earth never formed. In another, humanity never evolved. This is the many worlds interpretation. It says that all outcomes happen. All of them. Somewhere. Every choice you've ever made and didn't make exists in some version of you. And now, a more terrifying theory, the holographic universe. What if everything you experience, space, time, matter, is just a projection? Not metaphorically, literally. Some physicists believe our three-dimensional reality is a hologram projected from a two-dimensional boundary, like a cosmic movie playing from the edge of the universe. The math supports it. Black holes, in particular, point the way. The information about everything that falls into them isn't destroyed. It's encoded on their surface, just like a hologram. If that's true, then you are a projection. Your memories, your choices, your reality are echoes of something deeper, written on a boundary you will never see. These are not fringe ideas. These are theories born from the deepest questions science can ask, and the strangest answers the universe gives in return. And they all share one unsettling trait. They suggest that what you see is not what's real. That behind the stage of reality, behind the light and space and time, is a deeper machinery, one we may never fully understand. Let's descend now into the labyrinth of paradox, where logic breaks, where answers become questions, and where the universe starts to resemble a riddle with no solution. Start with this. If the universe is infinite, then everything that can happen must happen. Not once, not twice, infinitely. There are infinite versions of you, sitting in slightly different rooms, asking slightly different questions. A universe where this very sentence is being read aloud by a machine. A universe where Earth never existed. A universe where nothing but hydrogen ever formed. Infinity demands it, but if the universe is not infinite, if it's finite and closed, then it has a boundary, and that means a center, a limit, a beyond. But space has no such landmark. The universe looks the same in every direction. No edge, no center. How can something have no boundary, yet not be infinite? That is the paradox of curved space. Like the surface of a sphere, finite yet edgeless. And what about entropy? The second law of thermodynamics tells us that disorder always increases. That time moves in one direction, toward chaos, that the universe is winding down. And yet, the early universe was already in an incredibly low entropy state. Why? If disorder is natural, why was the cosmos born in such unnatural order? It's as if the film of the universe began near the end of the story, then started running backwards. No one knows why. No one even knows how to begin answering that. Now, peer into a black hole. At its heart lies a singularity, a point of infinite density, where gravity crushes everything, even time. Fall in, and the laws of physics abandon you. Your mass becomes data, smeared across the event horizon like ink on glass. But what happens to you? Is the information truly destroyed? According to quantum theory, information cannot be destroyed. Ever. But black holes do destroy it. Or so we thought. Enter the information paradox. Some believe that the data is preserved in the Hawking radiation the black hole emits as it evaporates. Others think it's encoded on the event horizon. Still others suggest the information is released at the end of the black hole's life in a final burst. But no one can prove it. It is one of the greatest unsolved puzzles in physics. And at its core lies a terrible question. If information can die, then so can the universe's memory. And maybe, so can yours. Let's go further. Quantum theory and general relativity, the two great pillars of modern physics, do not agree. They cannot be unified. One governs the large, the other the small, but at the Planck scale, they must converge. So far, every attempt to reconcile them has failed. String theory, loop quantum gravity, M theory, elegant, yes, but incomplete. The truth remains just out of reach, like a ghost behind a veil. And here's the most chilling possibility of all. We may not be able to understand the universe fully, not because it's too big, but because we're inside it, like a character in a novel trying to read the cover of the book. Our brains evolved to survive, not to comprehend reality's deepest architecture. We are ants trying to map a cathedral. Our tools, math, observation, theory, can only reach so far before breaking down. But even knowing this, we keep reaching. We ask questions we cannot answer. We stare at the stars and wonder not just how, but why. Why is there something rather than nothing? Why does the universe exist at all? Some say the universe is a simulation, a product of an advanced civilization's computation. If true, then every atom, every law, every galaxy is just code. And the edge of the universe? The edge of the simulation? The limits of processing power? The resolution boundary? A cosmic firewall. But if we are simulated, who or what wrote the code? And why? Others believe the universe has no reason. That existence is a brute fact. That why is the wrong question. That our need for meaning is a glitch in the system. But can you accept that? Can you live in a universe where the stars burn without purpose, where love and loss and wonder are accidental patterns in the chaos? Because in the end, the greatest paradox is this. You are made of the universe. Your brain, your thoughts, your memories, they are star stuff. The cosmos contemplating itself. But how can something finite understand the infinite? How can something temporary grasp the eternal? Still, you try. You imagine. You listen to whispers from particle accelerators and space telescopes, from equations scribbled on whiteboards and data pulled from the void. And they all say the same thing. We're close. We're touching the veil. But the truth remains hidden, just beyond the horizon, just out of reach. So here you are, standing at the edge of what is known. Behind you, the story of the cosmos. Ahead, only questions. You could turn back. You could settle for the comfort of what's already been explained. But that's not why you're here. You want to know what lies beyond, and the universe might just be listening. You've made it this far, and now something starts to ache inside you. Not physically, but somewhere deeper, in that hidden place where wonder meets fear. Because everything you've just heard, everything you've imagined, begins to rearrange your sense of reality. The floor beneath your thoughts feels less stable. The stars outside your window feel more distant. And the question you didn't realize you were asking suddenly emerges, trembling and raw. What am I really in all of this? Take a breath. Because this is where it starts to hurt. If time is not a river but a block, if all moments coexist, then every choice you've ever made was never yours to begin with. Every kiss, every regret, every whispered prayer in the dark may already be etched into the fabric of the cosmos, unchangeable, unrepeatable, and yet eternally there. Imagine the person you love most, frozen in some unchangeable frame of cosmic film, smiling, laughing, crying. And no matter how far you travel, you can never go back to them, because they never left. And yet, they're gone. If the universe is infinite, then your entire life, your thoughts, your memories, your voice speaking inside your head, has already happened. Somewhere, in some parallel version of this exact moment. you are asking these same questions. In another, you never existed at all. You are not singular. You are one echo among infinite ripples. And still, you feel so real. Now look up. Truly look. Behind every star is another. Behind every galaxy is a deeper void. The universe is not just vast, it is indifferent. It does not care about your joy or your sorrow. It does not care whether you understand it or not. It moves forward, not because it chooses to, but because its laws demand it. And in that cold, relentless motion, you realize something terrible. We may be temporary, not just as people, but as a species, as a story. The sun will die. The earth will crumble. Even atoms will decay. There may come a time when nothing remains. Not light, not memory, not the whisper of our existence. A black silence, stretching forever. The heat death of the universe is not fire, but stillness. A cosmic graveyard where time has no meaning, because nothing changes. No stars, no voices, no hope. And in that future, there will be no one left to remember we were here. So then, why? Why does any of this matter? Because you are the exception. You are a moment of awareness inside a universe that should be silent. You are the cosmos opening its own eyes and asking, "What am I?" You are stardust that knows it's stardust, and that is a miracle no equation can explain. But even that miracle comes with a price. What if the universe is alive? Not in the way we understand life, but in the sense that every particle, every force, every strange rule is part of something conscious, something vast and ancient, too large to notice us, too slow to speak in words. And we are its thoughts, brief, flickering, here for a heartbeat, then gone, or worse. What if we're the glitch, a random hiccup, in an otherwise perfect system? What if self-awareness is the mistake? A cruel joke played by entropy on a planet that got just lucky enough to ask the wrong questions? Are we meant to understand this universe, or are we only meant to observe and vanish? And yet, amid this cosmic horror, this scale that threatens to crush you into meaninglessness, there's a strange kind of peace. Because if the universe truly is infinite, then so is the possibility of you. Somewhere, always, you are alive. You are curious. You are wondering. That wonder, that fire, behind your eyes is the same force that drives galaxies to spin and atoms to bind. You are not apart from the universe. You are the universe, so cry if you must. Tremble at the edge of comprehension. Feel that cold, electric awe in your chest. Because you've just seen something very few ever do. The truth that lies beyond the stories we tell, beyond the comfort of meaning, beyond the edge of everything, and now you can't look away. You've glimpsed the void, and it has glimpsed you back. What if the universe is already dead, and we're just living in its afterglow? Let that idea settle in your bones. The stars you see in the night sky, many are already gone. Their light, ancient and delayed, travels across the vast cosmic ocean to reach your eyes long after their hearts have collapsed. We call it beauty, but it's really a eulogy, light as memory. And perhaps that is all we are, memories, leftover echoes reverberating through a dying cosmos that has already written its final sentence. Now pull back, farther, until galaxies spiral like fireflies in the void. until time itself becomes something you can watch unfold, slow, majestic, devastating. From the moment of inflation to the birth of stars, to the formation of planets, life, intelligence, love, and then the silence. All of it plays out like the flicker of a match in a dark cathedral. Glorious, brief, gone. Here's the twist no one is ready for. We might not be inside the universe at all. We might be on it, like patterns on a cosmic shell, flickering in and out of existence, cast by laws we cannot touch, cannot see, cannot understand. The holographic principle isn't just theory anymore. It's mathematics shouting across the abyss that reality may be nothing more than a projection from a boundary we can never reach. We are shadows, with dreams, and yet, those shadows wonder. And in that wonder lies the final paradox. We are made of matter destined to fade, yet we ask questions only gods should dare whisper. Now imagine this. The universe loops. It ends not in death, but in rebirth. The Big Bang wasn't the beginning. It was a rebound. A new breath after the last one collapsed in. An eternal cycle. Bang. Bloom. Fade. Collapse. Repeat. Over and over. Forever. If that's true, then maybe this moment, you, listening, thinking, existing, has happened before, and will happen again, infinitely. But would you remember? Or consider something even stranger. What if the universe is a simulation? Not a program, not a video game, but a self-contained computation unfolding inside a hyperdimensional structure? Every black hole, every photon, every decision, processed, recorded, and recalculated. And at the edge of this simulation, a boundary, cold, absolute. The universe can't expand beyond it, because that's where the code ends. And maybe, just maybe, when we ask what lies beyond, we're asking the only question the system can't answer. Because beyond isn't part of the script, and yet, you feel something beyond, don't you? You've always felt it. In dreams, in grief, in awe. That sense that reality is a veil, and behind it, something vast, watching, waiting. The physicist might call it the information horizon. The mystic might call it the divine. The child might call it the stars talking back. Whatever name you give it, the feeling is real. Now picture this. Galaxies colliding in slow, shimmering violence. The curved dance of gravity sculpting light into rivers. Black holes singing in gravitational waves that echo through space-time like the heartbeat of gods. And somewhere in that chaos, a single planet. A thin film of atmosphere. A species asking questions. You. And the final staggering thought? If the universe is infinite, then this isn't the only time you've asked these questions. Somewhere, out there, another you is watching this video. Right now. Their heart pounding, their breath caught, their soul stirred by the same impossible mysteries. Maybe they're slightly different. Maybe their stars burn blue instead of yellow. Maybe their Earth is covered in endless oceans. Maybe they never asked. Or maybe they're wondering if you exist, too. So what lies beyond the universe? Maybe everything. Maybe nothing. But one thing is certain. You are not alone in asking. You've wandered through the fire and frost of unimaginable truths. You've stood at the birth of time and stared into the face of entropy. You've felt the weight of galaxies pressing in on your consciousness and the cold breath of infinity brushing against your soul. And now, here you are, at the edge. But this isn't the end. This journey, this deep descent into the heart of the cosmos, was never meant to answer all your questions. It was meant to ignite them, to crack open the shell of certainty and let the mystery pour in. Because that's what the universe demands. Not obedience, not understanding, but wonder. We've asked if the universe is infinite, if it has a boundary, if it's real, if it's alive. We've stood on the shores of time, loops and multiverses, black holes and cosmic echoes. We've considered the possibility that reality is coded on some distant surface, flickering into form only when we look. But the most powerful truth, the one you feel now deep in your chest, is that these questions matter, not because they can be answered, but because you're asking them at all. You are the echo of stars made conscious, the quiet hum of ancient atoms reassembled into thought. That you can wonder what exists beyond the universe is more staggering than any theory of physics or dimension. That you can feel the mystery, not just observe it, is proof that something beautiful is at work, something no equation has yet revealed. So ask yourself, what will you do with this awareness? Will you forget? Will you tuck this feeling away, back behind the routines and noise of daily life? Or will you carry it? Will you let it grow? Will you become the kind of person who never stops wondering? Because here's the secret. The universe isn't finished. It's unfolding, and so are you. Every question you ask, every curious spark, is part of that unfolding. You are not standing at the end of something. You are at the beginning. Now look up. Really look. See that star? Its light has traveled millions of years just to find your eyes. In all the chaos, all the darkness, it made it. And now it burns. Not in the sky, but inside you. Let that light change you. Let it remind you that even in the deepest void, something can shine. Something can be. So if you've ever felt small, remember, the atoms in your body were forged in ancient furnaces that once roared brighter than entire galaxies. If you've ever felt lost, remember, you are on a planet that spins in perfect rhythm around a sun that never forgets to rise. If you've ever felt alone, remember, somewhere, in some version of this universe, another soul is looking up, wondering the same thing. What comes next? That is the unfinished story. It belongs to the dreamers, the explorers, the scientists, the poets, and it belongs to you. So don't stop here. Continue down the rabbit hole. Ask dangerous questions. Read the stars like scripture. Doubt everything and marvel anyway. And above all, stay awake to the astonishing fact that you exist at all. Because if the universe has no edge, then maybe neither do you. And if it does, then maybe you're here to find it. So, tell me, what if the real mystery is you?